Me, Crimson 60620. I am here, and um, we're gonna do some Conan Exiles and listen to some stupid people talk about some stupid shit. So if you can sit back, relax for the next hour, hour and a half, we're gonna be doing some streaming, gaming, and I fucking hate what I choose to do for a hobby. Let's go. You can support me at patreon.com/ Crimson60620 PS4 Gaming. And you can also follow me at Facebook Crimson60620 PS4 Gaming. Thanks for your support. Enjoy the video. All right, guys. All right. It is me, Crimson60620, and I'm here. I got in and I was just like, yo, I need some motherfucking time to relax from work and you know, probably just think about shit. Okay, cool. Time for work, fix my dinner and everything else. Um okay, cool. Okay, it's cool. I gotta make sure I hear you guys. Shit, I'm gonna have to look at that later. All right. With the elections coming up and everything like that, when was this taken? Oh, this wasn't that long. Um, bear with me, guys. We're gonna get into that Conan Exiles. So I actually saved this to watch later. All right, all right, cool. Duh, 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 duh. Hmm. Oh yeah, that's what it was. Okay, cool. Response videos. All right, great. Sorry for the setup, guys. I normally give people time to get in and actually get ready for to watch some of the gaming.
He wasn't the one who tweeted the
God,
that
come on,
CNN meme.
stop. I swear to God, I may have to reset my computer by the end of the night tonight. How much stuff do I have open? Give me a second, guys. Oh, close that shit. Close that shit too. All right. Whoo, shit. My shit just tanked for real. Sorry about that, guys. Just trying to put everything back up. I have so much shit open and working. Yeah, everything just tanked for a second. Sorry about that. So, how do you guys like the little code open? It was just one of those things where it's just like I wanted to get into the game. I want to thank everybody. Oh my god, like you guys are fucking awesome. I was a lot of people really like that Spider-Man video, and I want to get back into doing just straight gaming. Mostly on the weekends when I can actually dedicate the time to just straight gaming, and where I can make sure that if you guys are watching, um, you guys just enjoy me gaming. I got a new gold. if you can actually see this, you'll know what that new goal would be. All right, and let's see. Can we share this, please? All right, nope, not gonna share it. All right, so let's also turn this shit now, cause I'm like, you guys can't see it,
So it turns out,
and we got everything started. Yay, woo hoo! Be honest with you guys, I'm fucking tired. I had a long day at work, and uh, it was just busy today. Call after call after call, and I was just ready for the shit to be over. So yeah, by about 2 o'clock today, I had reached that point where I was just done. I couldn't be upset anymore. I couldn't be tired anymore. I was just motherfucking done. So while we're waiting for Conan to come up, you can actually see this. There we go. We're trying to share this. Okay, cool. Waiting for Conan to come up. They took your family riches. Conan is a badass in this game because he just like fucking hate sorcery. I fucking hate this. I fucking hate that. All right. We're still waiting for this shit to come up. All right, it's back up. All right, all right. And I just want to actually let you guys know that I do play this online. I pop my server online, so if you want to actually play with me while I'm doing the stream, that's cool. Shit, got gas. All right, so close that shit. All right. So we're doing Monday Night Blue again, and I had mistakenly started doing some shit. Like I didn't put people's name in the title, and I think I'm gonna start doing that. Let people know that I'm fucking talking about them. And I got a couple other ones from Black Man Vent. I fucking love talking about these idiots, and it's not because I think they're less than me. That's the fucked up part about it. I really think they can be fucking better. There you go. I really think they can be better, but they choose not to be. They choose to be assholes. They choose to be some self-entitled, self-righteous, know-it-all motherfuckers who are just stupid. Maybe stupid enough to say, hey, let's put a nuclear bomb in a fucking hurricane. Or get mad because Greenland won't sell them. Like, quite literally, I would say that Trump is an incel, but he definitely pays for his cooch. Melania costed a pretty penny. And of course, he pays porn stars. How do you have to pay a porn star $120,000 in order to fuck you? But I bet these incels and these motherfucking MRA guys, like the bad MRA guys, are just like, yeah, Donald Trump is good. He's fucking stupid, you fucking idiot. Speaking of idiots, let's go. Monday Night Blue.
that Steve-O was actually hacked, and he wasn't the one who tweeted that CNN meme. So my last video, I got that one wrong, and I pinned a comment saying that it would turn out he was hacked. But at the time I made the video, it wasn't. I did not find any articles saying that he was hacked. I didn't realize that at the time. But the rest of
Okay, so take the video down, redo the shit. Offer a retraction. not just this bullshit. Go into that video and actually re-edit it and offer retraction. No.
Video I talked about a New York Times article about how prevalent are opinions in America that would be considered maybe alt-right. I'll just use that label. You'll see why in a minute. And it turns out it's a lot more Americans than people would have thought. Certainly more than I would have thought. And I wondered if we were going to get if we're going to get to a point sooner rather than later where the dam is going to burst and the old political consensus is going to go away. The America I grew up in, where content of your character, not the color of your skin, is going to go away. And we're going to break down in the culture war and in political battles along ethnic lines.
You stupid motherfucker. I'm sorry. I tried. Here's the thing. It has never been the content of your character. You're just locked in a motherfucking bubble that you haven't seen how people have been abused, mistreated because of who they are, as far as the sense of what they were genetically born as. I don't fucking understand this motherfucker. Because here's the thing with this bastard. He takes shit so... He takes it as Bible that he's fucking right. How fucking dare you? How dare you? Oh, it's about the content of your character because you're motherfucking white. It's the content of your character because you live in a secluded ass suburban suburb. And I'm not saying that he's intentionally being misleading. But just like black folks with body cameras, we've been telling you this shit has been going on for fucking years. And now you want to worry because your fucking side is losing? What the fuck is that? And I don't mean his side because he's white. I mean his side because motherfuckers are starting to call people out for this bullshit. God damn. Like, for real? For real? Let's continue.
Or tribal lines instead.
Like rich or middle class people actually looking down on poor and minority people. Let's continue.
Turns out, earlier this month, there was a paper done estimating how many people actually are alt-right in America. So let's take a look at this. This guy is an associate professor at Northwestern U. He says, our paper on psychology of the alt-right now in press at Perspectives on Psych Science. We use nationally representative sampling to estimate prevalence of alt-right adherents, about 6%, and contrast their psychology to non-alt-right Trump and non-Trump voters. So how many people is 6% of Americans? Well, actually, it was 6% of American adults. I've already gone through the paper. This is from InfoPlease. So 18 years and over in America, about 209 million people. It's about 12.5 million American adults that would identify with alt-right positions.
I have fear I did this. I may have did this video before. I don't know. I just got other shit to say about it. Or I may have stopped it while I was trying to read it. And see, this shit right here is disgusting. It's fucking disgusting. And I'll tell you why it's disgusting. Because this man right here... Fuck, I need, in order to go up there, I need better clothes because these will get me cold. This man right here it's almost as if he wants to use the data to his advantages. And no, it was the Sex and the City woman. But the alt-right has spread their propaganda just crazy because it's about, hold on. What the fuck? Oh shit. Whew. I'm sorry. I got a notification from YouTube. Your channel is live. And I'm like, I know I'm on my channel. Anyway, the alt-right has spread, and the policies that the alt-right actually that inform the alt-right aren't new. They not. They're just a rebranding of some of the same shit that we've seen. super predators or what is that? The 1350. This shit has always fucking been around. It's just that you're scared now because they took off the fucking mask. They stopped dog whistling and they started human whistling. Fuck out of here. Let's continue.
Or be very close to them. The paper actually talks about how Trump supporters are very close to alt-right positions, except on a few key things. So that means that the potential pool of alt-right people is actually significant. Looks like it would be significantly larger than just 6%. So let's take a look at the paper itself. So I'll put links and everything in the description box below, to the original paper, to the tweet, to the info please source for the population. This is the name of the paper, A Psychological Profile of the Alt-Right. An exploratory sample through Mechanical Turk, that's Amazon's service. N is 827, with the alt-right being 447 participants. And a larger nationally representative sample through National Opinion Research Center's Amerispeak. N equals 1,283, and of alt-right equals 71 to 160.
Okay, so I do have to turn up the motherfucking resolution just a little bit. Now, I'm going to actually read this and I'm going to actually bring this into focus. All right, so the 2016 presidential elections coincided with the rise of the alternative right. No bullshit, it was already in progress. The alt-right associates have wielded considerable influence on the current administration and on social discourse. The movement, loosely organized organizational structure has led to desperate portrayals of its members' psychology and made it difficult to decipher its aims and reach. Bullshit. They say everything that they want when they say it. You just don't want to pay attention to it. Anyway, my commentary. To systematically explore the alt-right psychology, we recruited 2 U.S. samples. An explanatory sample through MTurk, as he said, Amazon's search, and the larger national representative sample through the National Opinion Research Center's Amerispeak panel. Depending on the definition, we estimate that 6% of the U.S. population and 10% of Trump voters identify as alt-right. Alt-right adherents report to a psychological profile more reflective of the desire for group-based dominance than economic anxiety. Although both the alt-right and non-alt-right non-alt-right Trump voters differ substantially from non-alt-right, non-Trump voters, the alt-right and Trump voters were quite similar, differing mainly in the alt-right's especially high enthusiasm for Trump's, suspicions of mainstream media, trust in alternative media, and desire for the collective action on behalf of the whites. We argue for renewed consideration of overt forms of bias and contemporary intergroup research. So, and this is the abstract. This is not going through the fucking data. You can support me at patreon.com. So this is the abstract. This is not going through the data. This is just an abstract of what it says. It doesn't. It isn't going through the actual data points. And abstracts can in and themselves be misleading or non-complete. Just look at some of the abstracts from what people take that abstract of alpha wolves and beta wolves and all the other good shit. People took something that was completely outside of what that study actually proposed. Even so, the guy who came up with the study was like, don't believe this shit. That's not the the story that I wanted to fucking tell, and you just see it in how people took the fucking data. But let's continue.
It depends, depending on how you define it. They talk about that in the paper. We estimate that 6% of the U.S. population and 10% of Trump voters identify as alt-right. Alt-right adherents reported a psychological...
And see, this is why I took the time to actually read what that abstract overview states, because he gave just a totally different perception of what that actually said. And that's why when you see things like this, you definitely want to check your sources. Now, I'm not saying that he's being misleading at all. I don't think Monday Blue is capable of being misleading in the way that it will take to garner that type of dishonesty. No, I generally think that he, quite frankly, has his own internal bias of the way things look and the way things are. But let's continue.
Psychological profile more reflective of the desire for group-based dominance than economic anxiety. Although both alt-right and non-alt-right Trump voters differed substantially from non-alt-right non-Trump voters, the alt-right and Trump voters were quite similar, differing mainly in the alt-right's especially high enthusiasm for Trump, suspicion of mainstream media, trust in alternative media, and desire for collective action on behalf of whites. We argue for renewed consideration of overt forms of bias in contemporary intergroup research. I'm just going to hit the highlights of some of this thing. If you want to read the whole thing, you be my guest. I will, as I said, I will link this in the description box.
So you can tell he's actually already went through and decided the points that he was going to bring up instead of going through and reading the study. And I get it. He's trying to make his 10 to 15 minute videos. But shit like this, when you see things such as this, then you need to take the time to actually read the sources. I understand scientific literacy isn't a big thing that we focus on in America. We should. But you can actually just tell, I would say that this definitely needs to be addressed. And let's look at this study. It's more than just some edgy kids on the internet. Quite frankly, 6%, as he would claim when he's talking about women that don't want to sleep with men, is a big fucking number. Use the same guidelines. But let's continue.
Below. For those of you who aren't familiar with the alt-right, I'm going to go over some of those things about characteristics of it. Some of the opaqueness of the alt-right follows from the movement's largely decentralized structure in contrast to other far-right organizations or parties previously studied. Whatever formal organization the alt-right has exists primarily online, and the group lacks an official platform or clear membership criteria. Now, there's some things we're going to nitpick in this paper. For example, he says individuals publicly associated with the alt-right, such as Stephen Bannon. Jesus, I can't even get his name right. I'm going to.
He quite literally expounds their ideas and fundamentals. If you defend Stephen Banner, Stephen Banner, Steve Banner, the fuck, he got me doing this shit. The motherfucker who believes in the great replacement theory that's central to alt-right beliefs, then dude, we can't even talk no more. I will take everything you say with a motherfucking grain of salt because you're identifying with an avowed racist. But let's continue.
Nitpick on this kind of thing because if you want, with it being social science, you want your stuff to be taken seriously. And I realize that Steve Bannon has been publicly associated by other people with them. I think a better person's name to put in there would be someone like Milo Yiannopoulos, since he wrote a favorable article early on about the alt-right. And I think things like writing a favorable article for the alt-right is the kind of thing you would really need to do to qualify as being included in this publicly associated with the alt-right thing. Because
whoa, wait the fuck on. Hold the fuck on, dude. We are not doing this. We're not doing this because he doesn't claim to be all right. He so just because you don't claim to be an incel, you must not be an incel. Just because you don't claim to be a MGTOW, you're not a MGTOW. No, you're forever alone because that's what you claim it to be. Even though you act the fucking same as these motherfuckers, you act just as entitled, and you're making excuses for this motherfucker. What the fuck is wrong with you? How? Their ideologies are the same. Their modus operandi are the same. Their propaganda is the same. But they're not part of the movement. If you wanted to tell me, hey, Crimson, dude, dog, you talking too much like a socialist. After I give you the clear definition of what I feel the socialist is, then I can be like, cool, great, okay. If it walks like a duck, it talks like a duck. Talk like a duck. You know what the fuck I mean. But if it walks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, then it's a motherfucking duck. Steve Bannon is... You know what? You're right. He's not an alt-right. He's not in an alt-right. He's in a full fucking racist wing of the motherfucking party. Fuck alt-right. He is the motherfucking right. He is so fucking right that it's looped around to be wrong again. But let's continue.
Because, you know, if you've been paying attention since 2016, people have been, quote unquote, publicly associated with a lot of different things that they're not really a part of, or that they themselves denounce, or they themselves claim to not be a part of. And like I said, I think Milo Yiannopoulos would probably be the easiest, be an easier example, because he wrote a article in that was at least sympathetic to the alt-right. Current accounts.
Hold on, and here's the fucking thing: the alt-right was born in the fucking internet pages of Breitbart, which Milo Yiannopoulos and Steve Bannon was a part of. What the fuck? Like, do you do your motherfucking homework? Do you do your motherfucking history? I'm sorry, I just can't let that shit go because he's fucking patently, blatantly wrong. Yiannopoulos was a product of Breitbart. He was. He just got ousted because he made jokes about pedophilia. Fuck out of here.
Emphasize different elements of alt-right psychology. On one end of the spectrum are portrayals characterizing the movement as primarily driven by anti-establishment and anti-globalist sentiment. On the other end are portrayals characterizing the movement as driven by anxiety about threats to the status and power of U.S.-born whites.
Okay, let's let him finish. I don't even know. I don't even fucking know. I don't know, and I'm not going to assume.
Now, this is a part that in my previous video I suggested that if white nationalism or white identity politics starts in America, the people who start it, from their point of view, it will be seen as an act of self-defense. And this paper brings it up too. It says, perhaps especially if they view whites as a victimized group whose plight the elites have ignored. Right, so...
I'm sorry. Do you support the same thing for when blacks do it? Like, for real, do you support that shit when blacks gonna do it? Because we have evidence. How long did it take for the killer, because his death was ruled a homicide, how long did it take for the killer, Eric Gardner, to face any sort of punishment? Would you say the same thing for the militant arm of Black Lives Matter, which there's no real militant arm? No, you wouldn't. It's almost as if, for some reason, I can't tell, for some fucking reason, these people get a pass. I don't know why. Oh, you tell me. Why do they get a pass? Somebody tell me why they get a pass. But let's continue.
At least I'm on the same wavelength with the paper here. Part of the paper that I'm not really going to go into because it's not super interesting to me they they compare people in the alt-right to those in Antifa, the psychological profiles to them. And the paper defines anti-establishmentarianism as suspicion.
Wow, it didn't take long before that got to the two cocoa fallacies or whataboutism. But let's continue.
Of elites and mainstream institutions, and supremacism as a belief that some groups are superior to others and need their interests protected. Definition of alt-right support. Our definition of alt-right for the Mechanical Turk sample is anyone who answered affirmatively to 2 yes-no questions of alt-right identification. In our nationally representative sample, we explored 3 definitions. 1, a response of yes on the yes-no question of alt-right support. 2, a response above 4 on the 1 to 7 scale measuring the strength of alt-right support. 3, a response of yes on the yes-no question and a response above 4 on the 1 to 7 scale, a more restrictive definition. We put our primary focus on the yes definition, however, consistent with our pre-registration. We explore the robustness of our conclusions by assessing whether results coverage across both the other 2 definitions and those from the Mechanical Turk sample. Part of the study was they met.
All right, so here's the thing. That sounds like a scientific study. It didn't just blast one person. And I say it sounds like it is a scientific study. They actually had a control group. They also had, it wasn't just a yes no simplified question. It was questions based on degrees. And they had sample sizes. This does seem, and I keep saying seem, this is some of the mechanics of doing a study. And it's not just relying on self-reporting. It is relying on the fact that some people just don't want to come out and say, I'm alt-right or some shit like that. Now, there could be some definite flaws with this whole questions of yes, no. But I don't fucking get it. It's just like, this is not important to you, even though you claim that you're worried that we're going to break down into racial lines and all this other good shit. For real, dog? But let's continue.
Measured both moral foundations and dark triad traits. They're referring to the Jonathan Haidt 5 moral foundations from his book, The Righteous Mind. Although I think he was actually basing his work on previous work as well. But that's what they're talking about. You can see it here. It talks about equality, fairness, loyalty, authority, purity. Prevalence of alt-right support. We use the survey-weighted estimates from the nationally representative sample to obtain estimates of the prevalence of alt-right adherence using our 3 definitions of alt-right. These results are presented in Table 3. Estimates of the prevalence of the alt-right under 3 definitions. 1, a yes response to a yes-no question about alt-right identification. 2, a response above 4 on a 1 to 7 scale measuring degree of identification. And 3, both a yes response and a response above 4 on the above 2 questions. We estimate that approximately 6.2% with 95% confidence interval of U.S. adults would respond yes on a yes-no question of alt-right support. A somewhat higher percentage, 11.6% confidence interval, 95%, would give a response above the midpoint on a 1 to 7 scale measuring degree of identification with the alt-right. A lower percentage, 4%, 95% confidence interval, would both respond yes on a yes-no question of alt-right support and respond above the midpoint on the alt-right identification scale. Yeah, I think it's a better measure to research and discover exactly what are the alt-right values, or not values, like what are their positions, what defines them, what.
But they just said their position, what defines them. Is it that you don't fucking believe what they're saying? I don't get that. Maybe somebody can help me with that. But they're saying what they hold. One group over another. Let's continue.
What moral foundations do they use? And then design a study seeing how many people basically agree with the same thing. Because if you ask someone, do you identify with the alt-right? Do you support the alt-right? They might be thinking to themselves, well, I don't shitpost on Twitter and Facebook, so no, I really don't. Or they might not really know what the alt-right is about, or...
So it's almost as if it's their blatant bigotry and racism that people don't identify as that, but you can actually see the shit happening. But let's continue.
They might be thinking of the alt-right in terms of some type of formal organization or they might associate with a hacker known as 4chan or something else, it would make more, I think it would make more sense to ask direct questions that would be positively correlated with alt-right support rather than a direct, do you support the alt-right, yes or no? Like if you asked me directly, do you like and support the Republican Party? I would say no. But if you gave me a moral foundation questionnaire, you'd find that I use all 5 moral foundations, which is basically what conservatives do, which is why, for lack of a better label, I would label myself being right-wing or conservative because I use all 5 moral foundations.
What? So, wait, what? So even if you don't claim the shit, then maybe you still are something? What? No. Let's continue.
Not because I support the Republican Party, because I really don't. Now this was interesting for the alt-right people. 56% male, 44% female. That's a surprising number of women. Race, overwhelmingly white, a few black people, some Hispanics, some others. This also surprised me here.
Wait, what? Hold on. What? Let's do this. What? Do y'all see this shit? Do y'all see this shit? 1% black. 1% black. Look at the fucking numbers of this shit. Wow. And it seems like the older you go, the worse it gets. Relationship, long term. What? What? The fuck out of here. What? That's disturbing. That is fucking disturbing. Alright, let's continue.
Here, the spectrum for alt-right. Age 18 to 29, only 15%. I would have thought that was significantly higher, with the biggest age range there being 45 to 59. I mean, the impression I had of the alt-right movement is it was largely a youth movement. I can't imagine. So, all those guys on 4chan are actually in their 40s? That doesn't seem right. All those Twitter...
So, what he fails to grasp is they're looking at also things other than self-reporting. And I think he just doesn't get that shit that, wait a minute, maybe people my age have some bigoted or racist things in their fucking mentality. What? No, I'm a good person and people in my age bracket are good people. What? No. But let's continue.
Hentai accounts or Twitter anime accounts are actually in their 40s. Well.
See, he can't believe it. Now, he can't believe that those accounts, which we see here on YouTube, Twitch, whatever, people create a lot of fucking sock accounts, especially on YouTube or posts like this. How many times have you seen Reddit posts where people are actually saying that this is a throwaway account? But when you look at the ideals of those when you look at the ideals of what the alt-right identifies as, then you see the problem is fucking larger than what you think it should be. Quite frankly, look at the Trump voters. It's horrifying of how many people support some of the shit. Like, Trump quite literally still has a 79% favorability about Republicans. The alt-right isn't the bug in the system. It's the fucking feature. But let's continue.
All of them. But you know what I mean. Well, actually, if you look, like over 60% would be 45 or older, including well into their 60s. So all those anime faces are actually geriatric dudes?
You're bullshitting it. You know that's not the case. But let's continue.
Or about half geriatric dudes? Relationship, most are in a long-term relationship, or had a previous long-term relationship. Only 18% had no long-term relationship. I was assured by CNN that these were a bunch of incels. Let's see, alt-right, high school, college, and beyond. Some college. Region, Northwest, Midwest, South, overwhelmingly from the South. Income.
Wow. Who would have thought people who was raised with a bigoted history would mostly be in the South? Let's continue.
Majority of them have an income of $30,000 or higher. Actually, they're within the 30 to 75K range. Surprising chunk in the 75 to 125K range. Employment.
Yeah, because they are in blue collar jobs. They're in blue collar jobs where they feel that somebody's gonna come and take my job from me. The fuck? Why do I know this shit? Well, I'm 37. He's not too much older than me, and I'm falling for ageism. But he's such a because we saw videos of him where he's saying that he's a shit poster and all that other good shit. But fuck, how the fuck do you not understand this shit? But I guess because we all live in our bubbles, and I try my best to disabuse myself of bubbles. It is not fucking easy. But let's continue.
Most are employed. Few are unemployed. Some are not seeking work. Must be retired. Yeah, it's probably those retired boomers. Or it could be married women. Taking our most conservative estimate as a lower bound, these results suggest that at least 3% of the general population are alt-right supporters, and 5% of U.S. Trump voters are alt-right supporters. That's the lower bound. Alt-right respondents were highly similar demographically to non-alt-right Trump voters. There's no significant difference between the alt-right and Trump voters that were robust to alternative definitions of alt-right. Both Trump voters and alt-right supporters differ demographically from non-Trump voters, regardless of definition. Both samples were significantly whiter and more likely to come from the Midwest. Moreover, both Trump voters and alt-right adherents, across two definitions at least, were less likely than non-Trump voters to have a college education or beyond. Across definition samples, alt-right supporters were significantly higher than non-alt-right, non-Trump supporters on purity concerns, which makes sense. It's one of the moral foundations.
So they were concerned about purity. And I'm not talking about sexual purity. But let's continue.
Of the conservatives. Dark triad traits, authoritarianism, social dominance orientation, the internal and motivation to express bias towards black people, hostile and benevolent sexism, because they're overachievers, they do both. Nationalism and blatant dehumanization of derogated and opposition groups. Interestingly, in a contrast to popular intuitions, alt-right supporters were also significantly lower than non-alt-right, non-Trump supporters on concerns about corruption and optimism about the economy. Yeah, I was surprised in this that they said that they're not skeptical of big business. With the online censorship going on, I would have thought.
First of all, I'm sorry. There isn't much online censorship. Censorship does not mean that. Look, then that's the case. I'm being online censorship because nobody's paying me for my money. Although, if you're on Facebook, you can actually help support me by buying stars and donating those stars to me. Follow me at Crimson60620 PS4 Gaming at Facebook.com. Thank you. But no, they're just not paying people. And your butt hurt because, quote unquote, your butt hurt because they're not paying you for the shit anymore. The fuck out of here, dude. Let's continue.
Thought that they would be. There were fewer differences between the alt-right and Trump voters to begin with. The one exception to this pattern was the desire for white collective action. So about 12.5 million American adults have a desire for white collective action. That's a lot of people. We found some evidence for the anti-establishment portrayal. Alt-right supporters...
Yeah, that's a lot of people. 12 million. Especially when you have a voting population of about, I think they said it was about 50 million people that actually vote. And as much as it pains me to say that shit. Hillary Clinton was somewhat right with the half of his voters being deplorables. Because they fucking are. But let's continue.
expressed more suspicion of mainstream media and trust in alternative media compared to both non-alt-right Trump voters and non-Trump voters. However, we found little evidence that these anti-establishment tendencies extended to economic issues. Compared to both Trump voters and non-Trump voters, alt-right supporters were both more optimistic about current and future states of the economy and more trusting of big business. These results accord with research suggesting that changes in people's material circumstances have little to do with support for far-right political movements. So about 12...
So, wow. That's just saying that no matter how fucking threatened you feel with your economics, either very threatened or not threatened at all, you're still gonna hate people that's quote unquote beneath you because reasons. I would actually feel better if it was just economics, because we can fucking change the economics. What we can't change is your sense of fear in others, because they may come and take your purity of your white race from you. The fuck out of here, dude. The fuck out of here. But let's let this man finish. Ooh, 2 minutes left on the video. How much you want to bet he'll start saying some crazy shit that's either massively sexist or massively racist? Let's take this bet.
12.5 million Americans. So at least 12.5 million Americans would support alt-right positions. That's a lot of people. And since the biggest difference between them and regular Trump supporters was their desire for white collective action, or I guess you call it white identity politics, there's a even much larger pool of potential recruits for alt-right positions. Now, how long until things change for that number to grow? You know, there's no way for me to know that kind of thing. But it does look like the idea I put forward in the previous video, that we're getting close to a point where a dam is about to burst, where the old America that I grew up under, where it was political ideology that divided people, is going to go away in favor of tribalism. It seems like that hypothesis looks pretty accurate.
When has that ever not been the case? Like, for real. Like, how fucking dare you? How do you sit back and say that's just happening now? It never happened before. What the fuck now? Like, for real, dog, you gonna sit back and say this shit? Like, I've lived in this country all 37 years of my fucking life. Like, what the fuck now? Like, did I miss something? Did I really miss something? Take those with me, because I'm about to go for a fucking walk. But yeah, did I fucking miss something where we haven't been that? I have no idea. So let's continue.
And if you want politics to be ugly, make sure to break them down along ethnic lines, and that's where we're going. So what do you guys think? Do the findings of this paper surprise you? Are you surprised that it's at least 12.5 million Americans with a potential recruiting pool of a whole lot more? How long until American politics becomes completely tribal? And just how ugly is this going to get? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Now, before I go, I'm sure that...
All right, so let's choose another video, and I'll put that in the video later. Let's do this shit right here. All right.
Your business goes.
All right, so we're gonna let's switch gears, because I'm gonna probably cut this shit up later. That shit kind of like left a sad taste in my mouth, because
Goes where you go, and you go.
This whole idea that that, oh my God, we're surprised because this shit is new and happening. No, motherfucker. People who have been living under the oppression and the boot of some of these motherfuckers have been telling you guys this shit for years. You're just not paying attention? Get the fuck out of here. Now, let's hear to another professional victim. We're going to actually go to the quartering. Yay.
Everywhere. Grammarly Business improves your writing from your desk.
All right, so the quartering. This know-nothing bullshit-ass basement dweller whose feelings are hurt because he can't get monetization like he used to is now crying about something else. Let's hear him whine and cry about how it's so fun to see how Captain Marvel, Disney trademark, isn't making the money for his home box office sales that it should be. Now, never mind the fact that, maybe, just maybe, a little thing called streaming services are a route. But we're going to let this shit go.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and guess what? I get to do another Brie Larson video, and I know that so many of you love it when I do. And
so, in other words, I'm playing to a group of sad baby men who are upset because a woman called their little fifis out. Are you sad because she said that they need to change how game journalists or media journalists need to change their perspective on covering different movies? We need to get a new perspective on how movies are covered, because when you have most journalists coming from a specific hue or a specific gender, or let's just say specific sex, because gender, whatever. But are you upset because of that? Do you need a safe space? Are you crying because she said that, hey, let's have some women, reflective of, media or media coverage? Do you need a safe space, dog? Is that what's wrong? You need a safe space. Oh, okay, we can get you a safe space. You about to cry about it. You about to cry. You about to cry because you about to cry over some nonsense bullshit ass answers because reasons. Let's continue.
And as I talked about in an earlier video, I'm doing a little experiment this week because I think my channel is getting sandboxed. So if you can, definitely go out of your way to leave a like and a comment on this video. And if you can share it out on Twitter or Facebook or Minds or something, I'd really like to see what happens over the next week to see if we can break out of that. It's been...
Oh, please validate me. Please validate me by sharing this. Please validate me. I need your validation. I need you to validate my self-worth because I have none, and I need to act. I need to be validated. Validate me, please. Let's continue.
Been really bizarre. Hardly anyone's seeing them anymore, and maybe my topics aren't that good. It's possible. It could be the
ding, 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 ding. You know what? I'm gonna say this. I'm not gonna lie. As far as my viewing habits with YouTube and how I actually watch YouTube, sometimes I'm watching shit from Team 4-Star. Sometimes I'm watching shit from Dark Matter. And by the way, that latest Dark Matter video, yeah, that was hard to watch. And it was hard to watch because just you build up the idea of what the characters are, and just to see, man. But we're not talking about Dark Matter today. But it was just hard. It was hard. It was a hard fucking video to watch, and not because it was bad, because it was just like you can tell it was just the character portrayed was just struggling with some of the shit. But anyway, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, maybe you just aren't interesting. Maybe your outrage machine has burnt out. Maybe people see you as the loser you are. But let's continue.
The time of year, but this is one thing I can control, so I would really appreciate your help with that. So the DVD sales for Captain Marvel are out, and they stink. And Kevin Feige and the directors of Avengers Endgame saw a poll placing Captain Marvel as the least powerful Avenger, and they lost their minds. So let's start with the DVD sales. First of all, right, Captain Marvel's Endgame, here we go. Captain Marvel's Q3 entertainment revenue comes up short to Black Panther. Disney Marvel Studios' Captain Marvel has sold about 2 million discs since June 11th, packaged media release according to industry estimates.
Okay, they sold 2 million discs. You know what? You know what happened with Captain Marvel? Feige made a story which people said, hey, let's see this movie in order to make sure that we don't miss out anything on Endgame. It's what happened. It was a marketing ploy, and they did the same thing with Spider-Man. They definitely did the same thing with Spider-Man. But that got people to see the fucking movie. And you know what? Here's the thing. It worked. It grossed $1 billion motherfucking dollars. Quite literally. The whole get woke and go broke bullshit never fucking happened. You fucking losers that got mad at a fucking star. And, you know, maybe it's just me, but a lot of these guys seem like they are just jealous because, you know, somebody had the audacity to question their perceived sense of entitlement. They had the audacity. But let's continue.
Despite the strong start, that's half of what Marvel's Black Panther sold last year following its disc release on May 15th. Now, you could say, like, if we look at video games, there's kind of a transition to digital media, which could be part of it, but this is only a 1 year pass, so it seems less likely. A lot of times when we look at it in video games, we're looking at, for example, like Rage 2 came out. It was like many years after.
So, you know what? I noticed something with this guy's channel. Damn, did he turn him into mist? He turned him into fucking mist. But one thing that I realized with this guy's channel is he knows what the problem is because he comes right back in and offers a solution. But he doesn't want to give credence to that solution that he offers because it would mean that his whole principle of why he's complaining is wrong. It's been an uptick in a lot of fucking digital sales. And I'm not going to lie, I would rather take a digital sale of a piece of media versus a disc. Now, I will say this. I do buy the disc, the DVD, and the, what the fuck is that? The Blu-ray, the Blu-ray, the DVD, and the fuck. Okay, not that. I thought I killed that motherfucker. Okay. All right, there it goes. Give me that. Give me all of that. The disc, the DVD, and the digital copy. For example, I have Atomic Blonde, and I bought the one that had all three. I have both Kingsman, and I have I have Lucy. Every movie that I purchase, I actually buy I buy the ones that have all three. I think that's the reason why I haven't bought Broly yet. Spider-Man: Homecoming, I bought all three because I want to have the digital copy of the shit. I don't want to just have a disc because I have a fucking PlayStation 4 and I want to be able to. Okay, I want to share my movies with other people. I'm not gonna lie. I want to be able to go to a friend's house and say, "Hey, let me pop up my Voodoo, and here, let's claim the movie." I do it. Not gonna lie. That's why if it was a movie that I can actually buy in the digital disc versus a honest survival. Versus a actual digital disc. I'm getting the digital copy. And just like all the gaming fucking companies, they're putting out the disc sales, but they are very, very shy about putting out digital distribution numbers. Sony doesn't do it. Nintendo doesn't do it. Fuck it. I think Microsoft may do it, but digital distribution numbers, people for some reason are scared to fucking do it. But let's continue.
After the original, so comparing physical disc sales.
Mind you, he's making this argument while he has this whole thing of, let me just pull it up here. He has where if you can see my cursor, you can't see my cursor. So let me just turn on my cursor. Properties, capture cursor. Cool. Okay, so if you actually see right here, Batman Hush, own it digitally now. The fuck? But let's continue.
Sales probably isn't reasonable. This is only a year different. Disney attributed the difference between them Disney August 6th attributed the difference between them to why they posted lower third quarter home entertainment revenue. Meanwhile, studio revenue increased 33% to 3.8 billion. I promise you I can read. Higher operating income was due to increase in theatrical distribution results and lower film cost impairments at legacy operations. These improvements were partially offset by the cost from the 21 CF business and blah, 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 blah.
Okay, so I didn't go and pull this article up. He actually has it too small. And it's also like, whenever somebody say blah, 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 I always want to wonder, what are you strolling past so quickly? Now, Disney said they have actually not seen the losses because of certain things, and some of it is digital distribution. But you want to run past that because you want to talk about Captain Marvel. Now, I should be thankful. Like, dude, you are fucking like killing it on the defense of Black Panther only because you heckin' hate women more than you hate black men. I don't know, because he was one of these motherfuckers who was like, oh, Black Panther didn't do that good. Disney are buying out seats. What's wrong, motherfucker? You can't decide which one is your motherfucking enemy first? But let's continue.
Now, interestingly enough, though, we saw today that there was a whistleblower telling the SEC that Disney has been inflating their revenue for the past several years, as much as $6 billion to be exact. Sandra Kuba, who worked for 18 years in Disney's revenue operations unit before being fired in 2017, said the filings reviewed by MarketWatch that the company revenue was overreported by as much as $6 billion in a single year.
Okay, so, and this is the funny fucking thing, right? Mind you, she was fired in 2017. This fucking conspiracy that he fucking has is fucking awesome, because time doesn't work that way. If you have a conspiracy for 2017 from before that time, how can they be using that conspiracy from 2017 in 2019, motherfucker? Like, for real. Like, maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm the idiot right here, but last time I worked, time doesn't work that way. But let's continue.
The exaggerated figures she claimed were arrived at through several means, including recording made-up revenue from free rounds of golf, guest promotions, or recording the full face value of $500 gift cards, even if the guests paid significantly discounted rate. Exploiting weaknesses in the company's accounting software enabled the inaccuracies to remain undetected, she contended. Now, interestingly enough, There's a question. Remember, as Data Racer posts out, remember those empty Captain Marvel showings and theater managers?
Okay, so you didn't have any fucking videos or cameras of these people that were so sure that there were empty seats in Captain Marvel. Just like you're using a fax here. You don't have these data showing that there are empty seats. You don't even have fucking pictures that there are empty seats. You just have words of people who you say are truthful on the internet. Truthful on the internet. That there are empty seats because reasons. But let's continue.
Reporting mysterious sold tickets not being used. If we go back, 25 prepaid tickets bought for each screening, none attended, 570 no-shows with no refunds. New reports of empty theaters at Captain Marvel add more to controversy, and you see all sorts of posts. The Captain Marvel report from my local theater is shocking. Out of 22 showings on Thursday...
Again, some of these motherfucking... Some of the shit that happened was before the movie fucking came out, where people actually did reviews before the movie was even screened. So I tend to not believe all of this shit. Maybe it's just me, but it seems like these motherfuckers have an axe to fucking grind. But let's continue.
Friday and Saturday, there were 570 empty seats from advanced ticket buyers who never showed up. While on Sunday, there were only 4 no-shows for the movie all day. Now, it's entirely possible that...
So, here's the thing. Captain Marvel came out in 2019. Came out before Endgame. It fucking came out before Endgame. It did. It came out in 2019. And hell, if you want to go back and say they did it for Black Panther. Black Panther came out in 2018. Like, am I the only one that just doesn't see that sees the problem? But let's continue.
Disney builds into their marketing budget money to buy out seats so that they can inflate their opening weekend numbers. It's probably a good investment. See, if the movie smashes box office records for that first week, then people will be more likely to see it in the following weeks. So ultimately, it's probably good money spent. It's probably been going on for many years. Now, Disney has, of course...
But the thing about it is, bear with me, man. Captain Marvel came out in 2019. Okay, so let's use that for everything. Did they do that for Endgame? Did they do that shit for... I don't know. What is another movie? Spider-Man Far From Home. Hold on, guys. Hello? All right, guys. I'm sorry. I have to take this phone call, but I'll probably be back on later. Part 2. You'll be getting part 2 of this shit. Thanks for watching so far, and look out for those notifications. Peace.